Hi everyone, Hannah here and welcome back to the channel. So sorry I haven't done a video in a couple of weeks. My appointment got cancelled again. This is fourth time lucky. Now I haven't had a phone call or letter to say it's been cancelled again. So hopefully, currently under the care of New Cross Hospital. Today you should find out the results for the biopsy that I had June or July time, I think it was, to see if it's ulcerative colitis or diversion proctitis that's in the rectum at the moment, the rectal stump that's left. I have a stoma and this result will depend what surgery is next, whether they will attempt pouch surgery or whether they have to just take the rectum out and I'm stuck with a stoma. So not a clue. I haven't been thinking too much about it because there's no point in me making a decision if I don't know what the results are, because it might not go that way. So we'll see what happens. So I've had the appointment, had it a couple days ago actually, and I mean the results were basically I get to choose. I can either stick with the stoma or I can opt to try the pouch. I get to pick. I don't have any idea what I'm going to pick. It's not going to happen till at least kind of mid next year. The surgeon was saying over Christmas till at least February. They're not booking in any surgeries just because they're worried things might go into lockdown over Christmas, so they just want to keep that free for emergencies and not have anything booked that can wait, which is fine because it gives me the luxury of time to decide. So it would be at least mid next year. Obviously I'll have another appointment with her before then to go through the nitty gritty, because we only asked some basic questions for now that we had on our minds. So long story short, if I go for the pouch, I will still have a temporary stoma for a while, and they would use my small intestine to create an internal pouch. Once that's healed, if it heals, that's the first obstacle, it has to heal. Then 8 to 12 weeks after that, they would attach that back to so they would remove the temporary stoma and then attach that to the internal pouch, and I would then go to the toilet out my bottom as normal. Now, I say normal, it wouldn't be normal because I don't have a bowel anymore, which removes the water, so it would still be loose. Then the hurdles are the possibility control may never come back. That's probably my biggest concern. Having accidents. Don't really want to do that again, but there's no way of knowing. There's no test they can do to tell. There's no way of knowing. There's also the risk that it might just not heal. The pouch might never heal, so it might not get reattached. I might have a permanent stoma. That's something else that could happen. And pouchitis, where the pouch itself gets inflamed. She said with things like that, most of the time, she said antibiotics or other medications can work to bring that down and then everything's fine. If that doesn't work, when the pouch gets inflamed, if antibiotics don't work, if other things don't work, it can't be fixed, and it would then mean a stoma again and no pouch, rectum's gone, and that's it. So there's a lot that can go wrong, but there's no way of knowing, there's no way of telling. I don't know. So I don't know what to do. Right now, I am slightly leaning more towards trying the pouch, mainly because I was willing to try any and every medication that they had, so why wouldn't I try everything else before having a permanent stoma? Because that is the end. A permanent stoma and no rectum is the end. There is nothing to try after that. So why would I not try a pouch when, yes, I might end up with a permanent stoma either way, but at least I would have tried. So that's my current thought process with it. Obviously, yes, there's risks. She said one of the biggest risks is not having enough small intestine left. Obviously, the taller you are, the more you have. And she said when you get under 200 centimetres is where you start to potentially have other issues. So as long as you've got 200 centimetres of small intestine, things should be fine. You can easily become deficient in things, and obviously without the large intestine, the bowel removes the water. So without that, I obviously don't have mine anymore. it's very easy for me to get dehydrated, so I do have to keep on top of that, which isn't ideal because then you pee all the time. But the less small intestine you've got, the less liquid as well gets absorbed, the less in general gets absorbed, so it's easy to become deficient in things. She said if it gets to between 100 and 150 centimetres of small intestine, that's where you're probably going to need to have either injections or infusions of like vitamins and minerals, because you just wouldn't be able to absorb them through food. So again, that's a potential risk. And because I am short, I'm only 5'1", I have less small intestine to kind of play around with. So there's just a lot. It's like information overload at times. Thankfully, I do have the luxury of time. Like I said, being able to take a few months, discuss it with friends and family, their opinions. It's hard though, because they've said it themselves, they've not experienced what I've experienced in the past, so it's hard for them to say what they would do because they don't know what it's like. It's like, for example, my dad has really bad migraines. I don't know what that's like, so I could never contemplate or understand what that's like. So yeah, one of those things. Thankfully, there are some colitis and Crohn's Facebook groups. So I've been asking different people's opinions on there. Obviously the good and the bad. I don't just want to hear all the good or just hear all the bad. I want to hear both to get like a balanced opinion sort of thing, and see how many of those that respond, what's gone wrong for them, what's worked for them, that kind of thing. Something that's also in my mind is I have quite sensitive skin. So the skin around my stoma where the bag attaches is right now awful. I'm going to pop a picture up. I'm not going to put the actual stoma in. I'm going to show the skin kind of next to it. So I'll put it there. I'll pixelate the stoma if any of that's in, because it's leaking. So I've not had any leakages outside, thankfully, and on my clothes yet, but it started to leak. So kind of where your skin is and where the bag sits on top, there's leakage in between. So basically you've got like poop sat on your skin, just eating away at it for days. And it itches, it stings, it hurts. It's not nice. It's obviously, when you saw from the picture, it's very red and raw. And when it's under the bag, you can't just leave it out to heal, because the stoma will just keep on emptying. Like, I can't stop that, I can't control it. So there's also the thought of, I wouldn't have those skin issues anymore. Something to think about. So I probably won't do another video for a while, unless there are any major updates, I've had any revelations, or if I get some new stoma equipment maybe, and then I'll do one. Thank you all so much for watching. Please do consider liking and subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!